Have you ever been watching a Formula One race and the car that's leading just suddenly dives into the pits? You're sitting there thinking, what are they doing? That's a huge mistake. But it's not. It's all part of this incredible, high-stakes calculation to find the absolute fastest way from the starting grid to the checkered flag.
You see, pretty much the entire race boils down to one massive question that every team's supercomputer is frantically trying to solve. What's the best pit stop strategy? Should we stop once or should we stop twice? And this isn't some gut feeling, right? It's a seriously complex mathematical puzzle with millions of possible outcomes. So, to really get our heads around that complexity, we're going to do what the engineers do. We're going to build a super simple model first. Let's just strip away all the chaos, all the variables of a real F1 race, and look at the pure, cold math at its heart. Okay, so picture this. A totally perfect, clean, simple 10-lap race. The only decision we have to make is which tires to use. And, just for the sake of argument, let's say every single pit stop costs us a flat 25 seconds. Easy enough.
In our little fantasy race, we've got two tires to choose from. First, you've got the soft tire. It's a bit slower, giving us 80-second laps, but it's tough. It can last for 5 or 6 laps. Then, you have the super soft. Man, this thing is fast, clocking in at 75 seconds a lap, but it just shreds itself after only 3 or 4. And right there, that's the fundamental trade-off: raw speed versus durability.
All right, so plan A, the one-stop strategy. Seems pretty logical, right? We'll use those durable soft tires. We'd run for 5 laps, duck into the pits, slop on a fresh set, and then run the final 5 laps. 10 laps, one stop, couldn't be simpler. So let's crunch the numbers. You've got 10 laps at 80 seconds each. That's 800 seconds. Then you add that single 25-second pit stop, and our total race time is 825 seconds. Got it? 825. Just lock that number away for a second.
But what about those faster super soft tires? We know they have a short lifespan, which means we'd absolutely have to stop twice. So let's say we run 4 laps, pit, run another 3, pit again, and then finish the race. That's still 10 laps, but now we're dealing with 2 pit stops. Okay, time to check that math. 10 laps at a blistering 75 seconds a lap, that's 750 seconds. But wait, we have to add 2 25-second pit stops, that's another 50 seconds. The grand total? 800 seconds. Whoa!
So get this, even with the penalty of a whole extra 25-second stop, the raw speed of the super softs makes the two-stopper a full 25 seconds faster. In our perfect little bubble, the choice is a no-brainer. But, as you and I both know, Formula One is anything but perfect.
Okay, so now it's time to get real. Let's start layering on the real-world variables that turn this simple math problem into strategic chaos. And we have to start with the single most important factor of all, tire wear.
See, in reality, tires don't give you consistent lap times. Every single lap, they lose a little bit of grip, and the car gets slower and slower. This is the tire wear profile. And if you push it too far, performance suddenly falls off a cliff. I mean, the grip just vanishes, and your lap times go through the floor. You have to pit before you hit that cliff.
And this just shows you the difference perfectly. Our simple model had those nice, flat, consistent lap times. The real world looks a lot more like this. Each lap gets progressively slower. And honestly, managing that decline, that's the real art of F1 driving and strategy.
All right, ready for a couple more wrinkles? Let's throw in 2 crucial F1 rules that change everything. First, you can't just use your favorite tire all race long. You are required to use at least 2 different types. Second, there's no refueling. You start the race with all the fuel you're ever going to get.
So this forces teams down different strategic paths. A team might play it safe with a conservative one-stop, start on the fastest tires to get track position, then switch to a durable set to make it to the end. Or they might go aggressive with a 2-stop, using faster tires for longer, but knowing they have to pay that price of an extra pit stop. It's that classic risk versus reward scenario.
And remember that no refueling rule? It has this fascinating side effect. As the car burns through its fuel load, it gets significantly lighter. And a lighter car is not only faster in a straight line, it's also much gentler on its tires, which can actually extend their life later in the race.
But here's the catch. Teams are limited to 105 kilograms of fuel for the entire race. But to run at 100% power for every single lap, they'd need almost double that amount. So this forces teams into this delicate balancing act. They have to decide when to push for faster lap times and when to conserve fuel, which, by the way, also helps preserve the tires.
So we've got tire wear, complex rules, and fuel management.
But even the most perfectly laid out strategy can be completely destroyed in an instant by the one thing no team can truly predict: the chaos factor.
The safety car. Those two words can make a strategist's heart either sink or sing with joy. It is the ultimate wild card, capable of turning a race completely on its head and rewarding those who are prepared to gamble. So how does this work? Well, when the safety car comes out, all the cars on track have to slow to a crawl. This means the time you lose making a pit stop is dramatically reduced. It becomes effectively a free pit stop, allowing teams to switch to a whole new strategy with very little penalty. It can completely reset the race.
So, when you put all of these pieces together, the simple math, the real-world variables, and that ever-present chaos factor, you start to see the beautiful, complex picture that is modern F1 strategy. I mean, just look at everything a strategist is juggling on the pit wall. They're constantly modeling tire wear and fuel burn while also trying to calculate the probability of a safety car. They're watching the weather, monitoring traffic to avoid getting stuck behind a slower car, what fans call a truly train, and they're even factoring in what their own teammate is doing. It's just a massive puzzle.
And yet, it all comes back to this. Despite all the chaos and complexity, the goal never, ever changes. You are modeling every possible future, every combination of events, to find that one single path that gets your car to the finish line in the minimum possible time.
So the next time you're watching a race and you see that lead car unexpectedly dive into the pit lane, you'll know what to ask. Are you watching the master plan unfold exactly as they predicted? Or has the chaos factor just thrown the entire calculation right out the window?